my hat goes off to them. I mean, it wasn't like it was surprising how well they played offensively. I think they have a very good offensive football team. I think they're just terrific on offense. And in specific, those three guys are great players. Quarterback's a great player. Defensively, I think they're solid. I thought they played better tonight than they did against us and against Marshall. But I really, we just saw that we had a lot of execution errors. We were behind the sticks in the first half was the biggest thing. We hit the draw for a big play there in the first quarter. It gets called back because of a hold. That was a huge, really big play again. I don't think he does. And then we jump off sides and first down to 20. We just couldn't get anything going in the first quarter. That's exactly what we didn't want to do. We told the player we did not want to let them get going, and we just couldn't move the ball in the first quarter. They had a couple of third down conversions that were good. What we decided after the first couple of we were trying to get pressure with Ford, and we just couldn't do it. That's when he stood back there, forever. He had some big. So we blitzed and played man the whole game, just to try to make it competitive. And we got some shots on him, but we couldn't ever quite get there. But I thought we started playing much better on defense when we started blitzing after the first couple of drives. We couldn't get to it. That was I thought the biggest positive, we were really on our kids at the half about, not keeping their poise and playing because we played so unsound in the first half. We were really, and then there in the third quarter we played our style. We were blocking the right guy and running positive plays and throwing the ball and catching it, playing hard on defense and act like we were coached a little bit. So I told them in the third quarter, we just couldn't score. I don't know, probably that beat as well as, I don't know, the score was 42 to whatever it was.
12.
You've been, probably 42 to 20, but at least I thought there in the third quarter we had an opportunity. We got to the 1 yard line twice to make it a one or two score game to make it more competitive. And I thought our guys really competed hard in the third quarter. We actually looked like they were coached a little bit. I knew what they were doing. My hat goes off to them. They're good. They're really, they're very worthy of their ranking. I think they're going to have a great year. Their quarterback is, we can't sack the guy. He's bigger than our defensive lineman. When I was in Georgia, we used to play Peyton Manning as big as probably had. We couldn't sack Peyton, but he was bigger than our defense against Georgia. That's what this guy is. We're big up front defensively. We couldn't get him down. That was kind of the deal.
How healthy are you coming out of this?
No, we really got lost 3 starters in the first half. Daniel went down. Titus Till went down with a bad ankle, and Jordan Stanton went down with a concussion. Those are big losses, huge losses, bigger than big.
Do you know what happened to Daniel?
ACL, tore his knee.
Just as ACL, do you know if it got anything else?
I'm sorry?
Was it just as ACL, or you get like an MCL too, or anything like that?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think they know either. They know it's definitely an ACL.
You're assuming he's done for the year?
He's done for the year.
How severe is Titus's ankle?
I don't know. I think it's pretty bad. I don't think he'll be back for a while. And I know they did an X-ray. I don't know. They didn't say. I never heard that it broke. I know the X-ray at the half.
Did it happen on that play where he hit
Last
the
play.
How important was it to get in the end zone on that last drive with Burks on you?
Oh, I don't think it's very important. I think it's much. I thought you would ask me the first two drives in the third quarter. But we're trying to get him. He's one play away from playing. We're trying to get him some work in case he has to play. That's what we're trying to do.
What was the most difficult thing in the red zone when you guys got down there twice and couldn't get in the end zone?
They're better than us. You always, I'm like there's 10 plays in which we ran, but you got to give West Virginia credit. We just couldn't block him down there. You wish you had thrown it. You wish you had done this. We tried to throw it, but we just, the one time that they had the kid hurt, we were waiting for him to stop the clock. But we had to wait the time out because officials never stopped the clock, which I was upset with that. When they had that one kid hurt. But we just couldn't block them, you don't deserve to win if you can't score them to one.
Did those two drives give you some confidence, even though you didn't score? Took it to the goal line a couple of times.
Oh, I think the whole third quarter, we stopped them, got a safety. Our kids were getting off the blocks. They had that one drive, but it was, I thought our kids, we played very well in the third quarter. I don't think there's a question about it. We just, we did a lot of good. We actually, like I said, we looked like we were coached. We made West Virginia. Everything they did, they earned in that quarter. They had the one good drive, but we didn't come out of the chute at all. I couldn't tell you why, and we didn't show a lot of poise. And we had some, I'm not very happy. We had some guys not playing very well. That was the biggest single win of the games. And West Virginia's going to make a lot of plays. We can't help them, and we helped them a lot. Is what was really bothering me. A lot of unforced errors, jumping off sides, and we just didn't do very well.
Do you think that Daquan Scott, the fact that he was missing in play, was a huge factor at the running back position?
It probably was. I think we're deep at running back. I think it's hard to. You're not going to miss a great player. He's probably the best football player we have. When you play a game, you miss your best football player. You're probably going to miss him.
Is there any timetable for him at all?
I don't know that. We're going to try to get him back this week. We thought he might be by Wednesday, but it did not look very good. I would really think he wouldn't play this week. Ankles just take a while, and I think his is pretty bad, but we'll see how he looks.
Mickey Smith is some incredible percentage, like 88% now in 2 games. How does somebody stop that?
Well, he did almost that last year. It's like, last year y'all heard me say that when I agreed to play this game, I didn't feel real smart. I was watching the Orange Bowl when they put 70 on Clemson, and then I remember thinking, I didn't keep up with West Virginia. I remember thinking, well, the quarterback's coming out, and then all of a sudden I asked some of the coaches, I said, West Virginia quarterback is coming out, and they said, no, he's coming back. So he's one of the top 3 or 4 players in the nation. He's got a great arm. I don't know. We had a couple of shots. But they're just really good. They put a lot of pressure on the offense.
We're going to work on next week because we're going to take on Rhode Island here really well. So we're going to learn from this game for Rhode Island.
What are we
going to learn from?
Well, I don't know. We learn we need to play better. We just need no forced errors. And I told the guys we have a good football team. The year we the team was at this game tonight. If we scored there in the third quarter, it's certainly going to be a decently tight game in the third quarter. And that's kind of the way it was when West Virginia beat us in 04. I think it was 42-10, if I remember right. And if anyone was at that game in 04, it was a much closer game than the final score. Today's game, I don't know if it was closer, but certainly the 2 goal line stands within the third quarter, kind of kept it out of reach.
Do you feel like there was any extra pressure to play well just because of the uniqueness of the game? You guys were picked to play a neutral site game. That was kind of a bigger deal than just going to Morgantown.
Yeah, we're not going to use that as an excuse. I just think we had some guys not show up tonight. We didn't, especially offensively. I was really upset with us offensively. Drop passes, running wrong routes. We must execute better on offense.
You're displeased with the way you guys played at North Carolina last year. How does this game compare the way you performed, I guess?
Good question. I thought about North Carolina game.
I mean, did you guys play as well? You didn't play well that game.
We probably played better tonight. I thought, the reason the scoreboard looks bad right now is because of 2 goal line stands. If you look at it, it's 42-25 or whatever. we certainly would have been tied. The reason that scoreboard was like it was like is two goal lines, we didn't get it in twice. We probably played better tonight, but he's a great player. I'm gonna tell you something, I told Dan African, we don't want to play him in a doubleheader. They've certainly got our attention. I think they're extremely well coached. They've got a veteran offensive line, they got a senior quarterback, they got some wideouts who can catch it and run with it. They're pretty dadgum good now. They've got a good offensive football team. Not what they did tonight. They've done to Clemson. They've done to some really good programs.
If you view the first 3 games as kind of sort of a preseason, how do you assess your talent this year compared to previous teams you've had?
I think we're pretty good. Like I say, if we'd have, once again, we need 2 more yards. And, the scoreboard looked much better tonight. So I think we're pretty good. We can't continue. The worst thing about tonight is losing those 3 kids in the first half. That's major losses. And you take Daquan, that's 4 starters out. Those are good players. Daniel is a very good football player.
But David Scott, what do you think of David Scott? Pretty
Well,
much
he
kept
played
killed the
really well.
return game.
I'm sorry?
He kept them from returning anything.
Yeah, he did a great job. I thought David had a great game. I think David's the number 1 punter in the nation. Last year he led the nation in punt the last 8 games. He is a tremendous punter. He's an NFL prospect. And I thought, I jumped on. He had that one battle at the end of the game, but other than that, he really punted well too. No question. No return. Dave, any return yards at all?
Yeah, he returned 1.
Yeah, did a nice job.
Thanks, Coach Kevin.
Good job.